We all know the glamorous, camera-ready version of celebrities, the flawless interviews, the designer outfits, the perfectly curated social media. But what about the weird, unexpected quirks that make them actually interesting? The little-known stories, bizarre habits, and secret talents that prove they're just as odd, or even odder, than the rest of us? Well, buckle up, because here are 15 hidden truths about your favorite stars that might just change the way you see them. Number 15, Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg has built an entire career on being effortlessly cool, laid-back rhymes, West Coast swagger, and an undeniable love for, well, greenery. But offstage, he's not just another rap icon. He's Coach Snoop, and he takes the title seriously. It started in 2003 when he signed up to coach his son's youth football team. What began as a side project turned into a passion, and now he's the head coach of the Diamond Valley Steelers, a team he's transformed into one of the most competitive in the country. But it's not just about football. Snoop mentors these kids like family, checking in on their grades, personal struggles, and futures. If they call him Snoop Dogg instead of Coach, that's push-up time. He didn't stop at one team. He built an entire Snoop Youth Football League, a non-profit giving kids from tough neighborhoods a shot at something bigger. For Snoop, music was the platform. Coaching was the mission of his life. Number 14, Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber is a pretty easy target. He grew up in the spotlight, made his fair share of bad decisions, and had the kind of fame that makes people roll their eyes. But strip away the noise, and you'll find a guy who's legitimately skilled on the ice. In 2012, Matt O'Dette, coach of the Bakersfield Condors, saw Bieber play hockey and was so impressed he offered him a pro tryout. This wasn't a joke. O'Dette saw real talent, good positioning, sharp passing, and a solid shot. He even compared him to NHL veteran Mike Ribeiro. Of course, Bieber didn't take the offer. He had a global music career to manage, but he never walked away from the game. He still plays in casual leagues and surprises pros with his skills. Love him or hate him, the guy isn't just some pop star. He could have actually made a name for himself in hockey. Number 13, Viggo Mortensen. Some actors have side projects. Viggo Mortensen has an entire career outside of Hollywood. Sure, he's an Oscar-nominated actor, but that's just one piece of the puzzle. He speaks 6 languages fluently. He's a published poet. He paints. He's released 17 music albums. He's an accomplished photographer with multiple books to his name. When he played a painter in A Perfect Murder, the artwork in the movie, his own. When The Lord of the Rings needed an extra song for Return of the King, he co-wrote and performed one. It's almost ridiculous how much he's done. Instead of chasing blockbuster roles, Mortensen spends his time running Percival Press, a publishing house he created to give a voice to independent artists. He could have easily spent his L-Otter money on mansions and yachts, but instead, he's investing in the kind of creativity most big publishers ignore. If there's a modern-day Renaissance man, it's probably him. Number 12, Rosario Dawson. Rosario Dawson is the kind of actor who commands attention, whether she's throwing punches in Daredevil, holding her own in Sin City, or just casually stealing scenes with her presence. She radiates confidence and toughness on screen. But when the cameras are off, she's a full-blown Star Trek geek. Dawson doesn't just like Star Trek, she lives and breathes it. Ask her about it, and you won't get a simple answer. You'll get a deep dive into the franchise, a breakdown of its best and worst films, and a passionate rant about how the second someone invents a holodeck, she's out of here. She even speaks Klingon, which she casually busted out on Conan like it was no big deal. Her fandom has even influenced her career. She once campaigned for a role in Star Trek, Into Darkness, dreaming of playing a Vulcan, and geeked out hard when she worked with Chris Pine. Turns out, Hollywood's toughest leading lady is also its biggest nerd. Number 11, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil deGrasse Tyson is the voice of science, a brilliant astrophysicist, educator, and professional flat Earth debunker. But before he became the face of modern astronomy, he was something else entirely, a competitive ballroom dancer. In college, Tyson was fascinated by what the human body could do. Already a wrestler and martial artist, he wanted to explore movement in a different way. He took up ballroom dancing and wasn't just good, he was championship good. His team at the University of Texas won gold in a national Latin ballroom competition in 1985. But the story doesn't stop there. At one point, Tyson came this close to joining an exotic dance troupe. The deal breaker? The gig required him to wear an asbestos thong that would be set on fire while dancing to Great Balls of Fire. Wise man that he is, he passed. Somewhere in an alternate universe, Neil deGrasse Tyson is still swinging from a pole. Number 10. Danica McKellar. For most child stars, Hollywood is their whole identity. But Danica McKellar, aka Winnie Cooper from the Wonder Years, had other plans. After the show ended, she didn't chase the typical post-sitcom career. She went to UCLA and became a math genius. At first, math was just a way to escape being recognized everywhere. But it didn't take long before she realized she was really good at it. She crushed her classes, outperformed her peers, and even co-authored a theorem about temperature behavior in magnetic materials. Something so impressive, it was named after her research group. She didn't stop at academia, though. McKellar has written multiple best-selling math books aimed at young girls, proving that numbers aren't just for nerds. Her mission? To break the stereotype that math isn't for women. Winnie Cooper wasn't just a childhood crush. She grew up to be one of the smartest women in Hollywood. Now let's talk about number 9, Jeremy Renner. Jeremy Renner is best known for playing Hawkeye, the guy with pinpoint accuracy and an underappreciated presence in the Marvel Universe. But while Clint Barton is deadly with a bow, Renner's real-life precision is aimed at houses. Before he became a star, Renner was a makeup artist, a job he remembers fondly. But his real side hustle? Flipping houses. And we're not talking about minor touch-ups and fresh paint. Renner and his business partner completely renovate luxury homes, turning them into multi-million-dollar properties. This isn't some hobby he dabbles in between Marvel movies. Over the years, he's flipped around 20 homes, with profits so high they'd make even Tony Stark jealous. His biggest win? The LA mansion he bought for $7 million and later sold for $25 million? Sure, other celebrities flip houses, but few do it at this level while balancing a blockbuster film career. Renner isn't just a superhero on screen, he's one in real estate too. Number 8, Keira Knightley. Keira Knightley isn't just an Oscar-nominated actress. She also has a party trick that's as bizarre as it is impressive. She can play music using her teeth. No instruments, no special effects, just her fingers tapping against her teeth to create actual melodies. She revealed this odd talent on the Graham Norton show, where she performed "Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head." Surprisingly, it didn't sound like random clicking. It was recognizable. It turns out she's been doing this since childhood, treating her teeth like a built-in xylophone. Knightley admits it's not exactly the kind of talent that wins awards, but it's a fun trick to break out at parties. And let's be honest, there are plenty of musicians who can barely play their instruments. Yet here's Keira Knightley making music with her mouth. If acting ever gets old, maybe she's got a future in the world's strangest symphony orchestra. Number 7, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson has spent his life fighting in the ring, but his real passion has wings. Since childhood, the boxing legend has been obsessed with pigeons, not just keeping them, but racing them. Growing up in Brooklyn, Tyson found comfort in raising pigeons, and that love never faded. He takes pigeon racing seriously, competing professionally, and even starring in a show about it on Animal Planet called Taking on Tyson. The show followed him as he trained his birds to outfly the competition, proving that his dedication wasn't just for the cameras. For Tyson, pigeons are more than just a hobby. They're deeply personal. He's even admitted that his first fight ever was over a pigeon when a bully killed one of his birds. It's an unexpected side of the former heavyweight champion, but when you think about it, it makes sense. He may have been known for knocking out opponents, but his heart has always belonged to the skies, not like Jake Poole. Number 6, Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie has plenty of talents: acting, ice skating, stealing scenes. But one of her more unexpected skills? She's an amateur tattoo artist, and she's done over 100 tattoos. It all started as a fun side hobby. Somewhere along the way, she got her hands on a tattoo gun and started inking friends, co-stars, and even herself. During Suicide Squad, she convinced the cast to get matching SKWAD tattoos. Yes, she did them. Even director David Ayer got one. The issue? She's not actually good at it. She's left permanent spelling errors, uneven lines, and a few regretful tats along the way. She even tattooed a close friend at a wedding, only to have the bride freak out. Eventually, she retired her tattoo gun after realizing, maybe I should leave this to the professionals. Still, if acting ever falls through, there's always the world of questionable ink. Number 5, Christopher Walken. Christopher Walken has played a lot of wild characters in his career, but nothing compares to his real-life teenage job, taming lions. Yes, before he became an Academy Award-winning actor, Walken worked in a traveling circus. At 16 years old, he found himself inside a cage with a full-grown lion named Sheba. And not just once, this was part of his actual job. Surprisingly, Walken wasn't scared. He described Sheba as more like a big dog, saying she would nudge him like a house cat looking for attention. While most people would see a lion and immediately reconsider their career choices, Walken seemed unbothered. Looking at his calm, almost eerie on-screen presence, it all makes sense. When you've tamed lions, Hollywood must feel like a walk in the park. These days, he's left a lion taming behind, but the fact that he casually has that on his resume? Pure Walken. Number 4, Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan is best known for playing James Bond, but in real life, his most dangerous skill isn't espionage. It's fire-eating. And yes, he's professionally trained. Before he was an actor, Brosnan took a fire-eating workshop in 1969. Unlike most people who'd try it once and walk away with burned lips, he got really into it. He kept practicing, learning how to control the flames like a seasoned circus performer. It became his go-to party trick, and for a while, it looked like he might actually pursue it as a career. Thankfully, Hollywood called before he had to make a full-time living off eating fire. Still, the skill has stuck with him. He's casually busted it out on TV, proving that even in his 60s, he's still got it. So while Bond had gadgets and guns, the real Pierce Brosnan could just as easily burn his enemies with a well-timed stunt. Now, let's talk about number 3, Kesha. Kesha has always embraced the weird and unconventional, but even for her, this one's unexpected. She makes jewelry out of human teeth, and not just her own. She's used teeth from fans. In 2014, while receiving treatment for an eating disorder, she was looking for a way to stay connected to her fans. That's when a friend posted on her Twitter account asking her followers, known as animals, to send in their teeth for an art project. Fans delivered, sending in so many teeth that she managed to create a bra top, a headdress, and earrings out of them. Eventually, the treatment center had to ban human teeth from being sent in, which is probably not a rule most rehab facilities thought they'd ever need. For Kesha, the project was more than just a bizarre fashion statement. It was a way to feel supported and connected during a difficult time. It's strange, it's personal, and honestly, it's very on brand for her. Number 2, Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise might be one of the most successful actors in Hollywood, but his biggest battle wasn't against on-screen villains. It was against dyslexia. As a kid, Cruise struggled to read and write, making school a nightmare. He was constantly teased by classmates, and teachers dismissed him as lazy. But rather than letting it define him, he treated dyslexia the same way he'd later approach action stunts, head-on and with relentless determination. Cruise credits his eventual breakthrough to sheer persistence. He trained himself to read scripts by memory, developing an intense work ethic that would later make him one of the hardest-working actors in the industry. By the time he landed his first big role, he had learned to work around his dyslexia, proving that success isn't about how you start. It's about how hard you're willing to fight. Today, he's one of Hollywood's biggest stars, pulling off impossible stunts, learning new skills, and proving that no obstacle, including dyslexia, can stand in his way. Number 1. Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie is known for playing fierce, action-packed roles. But here's the thing, she doesn't just act tough. She actually knows how to throw knives. She picked up the skill while filming Tomb Raider and didn't just learn the basics, she became seriously good. By the time she was done, she could flip, spin, and throw butterfly knives with the kind of precision that would make an actual assassin jealous. Her skills aren't just for show either. She's demonstrated them on live TV, casually tossing knives with perfect accuracy like it's no big deal. Unlike most actors who learn stunts for a role and forget them afterward, Jolie kept training. It makes sense. She's always been drawn to things with a bit of danger and knife throwing. That's about as badass as it gets. So if you ever find yourself facing off against Angelina Jolie, just remember, she's got a blade and she knows how to use it. Well, that's it for today, guys. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.